Hi and welcome to the SA Music Box, and our band Strip feature is back, and as I've been promising, our guest tonight is Miloh Ramai, and he'll be playing 3 songs with us and talking about his upcoming singles and the story behind his songs. An interesting character and a wonderful artist and a great representation of new artists coming through in SA Music. This is Band Stripped with Miloh Ramai. Welcome to another episode of Band Stripped. I know that you've all been waiting for this for a while. It's Miloh Ramai in studio with me, and he's going to be playing 3 songs and telling us the story behind his music, his artistry, and his passion. Miloh, welcome to the Hot 91.9 studio.
Thank you guys so much for having me.
Excellent. So I've been punting you now for the last couple of weeks saying we're going to have Miloh Ramai in studio, and we finally have you here.
Yes.
Excellent. Are you feeling nervous?
No, not at all.
You look very chilled out and very beautiful. This is going out on Hot TV, by the way, so you can be able to check out this video and Miloh's vibe on camera. So tell me about young Miloh and that first song, leading up to that first song that you performed.
The first song that I performed, I don't know if you guys actually know the story behind that song. I joined choir show in high school because I was actually struggling to make friends. And one of my teachers recommended that I join choir show just to like connect with people a little bit better.
Yeah.
And
to get your confidence up.
I got to perform incomplete, and so I said, yeah, let me do it. I'm not scared of anything. And when I performed the song, I saw the performance afterwards, and it was absolutely horrible. It's not a lot of people that say that. Everybody always says, no, I saw it and I realized, no, I'm a star. And when I saw mine, I thought to myself, no, you know what? I can do better. I can do it a lot better. It was so horrible. So then I actually pursued singing lessons, proper singing lessons. But my teacher at the time advised me to do jazz because jazz was a lot more relaxed, and I was struggling a lot with my voice because my voice was always a lot lower pitched than all the other boys'. And so I started to perform jazz, but I wanted to do pop music.
Yeah.
And that kind of inspired me to start writing pop music for myself, because if you look at the music at the time, I mean, that was Justin Timberlake and Bieber just became popular, and their voices are a lot higher pitched than mine, and I could never perform their songs even though I loved their music.
How old were you at this time when this first song performance happened?
I was about 14. Yeah, this was a couple of years ago. I was about 14 when I performed for the first time, and when I started writing music for the first time, it was around about 14, 15 as well.
So I wrote my first songs when I was about 14 or 15 too, and I can tell you officially that they were shockingly terrible. They were bad.
I listened. I still have my first song on a CD somewhere in the house, and I have listened to it recently. I'm not proud of it, but I am in a way proud of it because it was my first attempt. So
listen, everyone's journey starts somewhere.
It has to start somewhere.
That started you off on a journey that was irreversible for you, right? Because you sort of, from that point onwards, started crafting an identity. When you were crafting this identity of Miloh Ramai and who you are now, what were the key ingredients that you did not want to lose about yourself?
Honesty. That's one thing I like to talk about as well, is if I write music, when I write music, it is something that's got to do with something personal that I've experienced in my own life. And referring back to the song that I wrote my first song that I wrote, when you're 15 years old, you don't, doesn't matter who you are, you don't really have that much of life experience to write about.
Yeah.
And so obviously I started writing music more intensely as I got older, because then I actually started experiencing more things in life as well.
Once those emotions developed, once you'd been through a bit of life.
Exactly. And I must say, for somebody at my age right now, I've seen a lot of things in my life. I've went through a lot of things in my life. Not that I'm complaining or bragging or anything, but it gives me that sort of ammo to be able to write better music or music with actual substance. And when I say honesty, it's the one thing that I can always guarantee with my songs is it's something that's got to do with some part of my life.
Now, you've written this song called Run, and it's the next song that you can be performing. It's had a beautiful run, if you use the pun, on Hot 91.9. We've played a lot of that song, and it's a great track.
Thank you guys so much.
With a very strong 80s feel. But all that stripped away. When did you first start writing the song?
Run, I co-wrote with a friend of mine called Lawrence Besaidnout. He came up with a melody and the idea for the song, and then after a while I started to write lyrics for Run, but it was not, I actually wrote Run about 6 times over. before I was 100% satisfied with the message
Right.
behind the song. So Run, I actually wrote over a couple of years. Until I actually got a good grasp on what I wanted to say.
My feeling when I first heard it, before I truly knew what the song was about, I assumed that the song was about identity. What did you write about?
Run is obviously it's open for interpretation. You can take away from it whatever you want to. But the main idea behind the song was a type of forbidden love that is not welcome in this time and space right now. So what you and your partner or whatever have to do, you have to pack your bags and you have to go out into the world to find the place or space where that love is actually welcome. And that's ignoring everything or forgetting, leaving everything behind that was bad, all the bad influences, people that were telling you, or people that told you, you know what, you it's not welcome here, or we don't like it, or whatever. It's basically that type of journey of leaving everything behind, all the bad behind, packing your bags and getting onto the road and finding the place where your love is actually welcome. Because I'm a firm believer that all different kinds of love is welcome somewhere in the world.
I agree with you. And that was Miloh Ramai talking about Run, which is the next song, or the first song he'll be performing on Bandstripped, together with Deerval Pretorius. So next up, Miloh Ramai and Run.
Light a blazing fire at night. We'll be leaving at first light now, following the road we don't know, to the place we once called home now. There's a world outside your door. I don't know what we're waiting for now. Got a heart made of solid gold. Set a fire in my soul, now run. There's a place we're meant to find. There's a life to leave behind now. Broken hearts were meant to survive. We've got to keep this dream alive now. We are stronger than we know. We never have to be alone now. I'm the man who says what he means. I'm the fool who believes in dreams now. On and on, I'll take the fall. All you need to know. Just run, baby, run. Don't you ever look back now. It's all a game. Don't you ever
Welcome back to Hot 91.9's SA Music Box. That was Miloh Ramai with Run. Now, Miloh, thank you for spending your time this evening with us in studio. You have a very interesting style, both in terms of how you present yourself and in performance. What are your thoughts on style and performance, whether pertaining to you or other artists?
I think it's, especially in pop music, I think it's quite important if you've got a certain look behind the sound as well. For me, my go-to look has always been James Dean. If James Dean and Ragnar Lothbrok had a love child, that'll be it. That is the only way I can describe my go-to look. And
the eyeliner? For expression,
exactly. No,
I dig it, man.
It's just something that I tried and I liked it, and so I kept it. But yeah, no, I think it's important for somebody to have a type of, like I said, go-to look, especially if you're a performer. I try to keep mine as original as I can. I obviously take a lot of influence from, like I said, from James Dean and from this Viking-y type feel. So yeah, to answer your question, I think it's important for people to have some sort of visual behind the sound. It's not always just about the music.
That's good advice for young artists out there when setting up to become a star or an artist and performer. Style and performance both go together.
Yes, definitely.
That's what you're saying, right? And you mentioned, I'm just going to take you back a couple of years. You mentioned that there was a degree of indifference that's led to you being put on that stage to perform as a young person.
Yeah.
Do you believe as a performer now that you've had a few singles on radio and you've had songs being recognized and maybe a bit of a social media following, do you think that your indifference is truly understood now?
I don't think so. I think it will never really be. Obviously, people will have their own opinions on anybody. Anybody that's in the spotlight will have some sort of backlash of whatever kind. So no, but I think it's getting better. I think it gets better and better. People are now versus the first time that they saw me compared to now. I think they're a little bit more relaxed with the idea that, okay, this is what he looks like and this is the type of thing that he's doing. So I think people are being more open-minded to it right now compared to when I started out. And then also coming from what I used to do, the type of music and the type of style that I had back in the day was very, what's the word I'm looking for? It was very more commercial. It was very
more traditionally what people would have expected
conservative.
From you.
That's a better word. Because I didn't want to freak my parents out. I didn't want
to. All in stages.
It was, like I said, I didn't want to shock people immediately. And so it's something that had to not evolve. It was always there. The ideas were always there. Obviously, they changed a little bit over.
It had to emerge in its time.
Yes. And like I said, now I'm much more relaxed. In terms of the music that I write more personal things.
Yeah.
I talk about more personal things than I did. I'm not shy about anything, so it's just a logical next step for me to actually start showing, okay, what exactly is going on inside my head and put it on a picture or put it in a video.
So speaking about what's inside your head, Forever and a Day is your next track that you're going to be performing on the station. What is the song? What is the story behind the song?
It's actually got a very, very confusing story.
Nice one.
I only understood the song after I recorded it. It's that type of advice that you give somebody if they're doing nothing with their life. If you if they're seriously procrastinating, you tell them, like, you need to do stuff. You need to, like, get busy. You've got a life to live. You've got places to be or places to go, things to do. And when I recorded the song the first time and I heard it afterwards, I actually realized that I was talking to myself. I was telling myself, you know what are you doing with your life right now? Why are you not getting busy? Like I said, it was supposed to be like motivation for somebody else to start getting busy. But then, like I said, when I heard the song played back at me with my own voice for the first time, I realized I'm telling myself in a way, you know what, I'm wasting time. Why am I not busy doing what I'm supposed to do right now?
Well, I can tell you what that's called. It's your awakening to catharsis in music. And I've been writing songs for over 20 years, and I can tell you it gets better and better. Part of healing yourself and understanding yourself is actually being able to write music that you've experienced inwardly and outwardly.
Yeah.
So the more you write, that feeling will get better and better and becomes insatiable. And it won't take you forever and a day.
It becomes natural as well.
Yeah, exactly. So that's Miloh Ramai telling us about Forever and a Day, which he'll be performing right now with Dieval Pretorius.
Say goodbye to all your sorrows. Find yourself a new tomorrow time. It ain't ever on your side. Heaven only knows I'm falling in and out of love. I'm calling out. Won't you turn this life around? 'Cause every second that you waste feels like another I can't face. Suddenly a human being, I believe you know that feeling. Sign your name and walk away while I'm holding on forever and a day. Even though you know I love you, there's no one else above you. Sign your name and walk away while I'm holding on forever and a day. Redefine your own existence. Take the path of least resistance. Time, it ain't never on your side. Heaven only knows we're running out of time before we come undone. You can turn this life around. 'Cause every second that you waste, another one I can't replace. I'm suddenly a human being. I believe you know that feeling. Sign your name and walk away while I'm holding on forever and a day. Even though you know I love you, there's no one else above you. Sign your name and walk away while I'm holding on forever and a day. Forever and a day. Forever and a day.
And welcome back to Band Stripped on SA Music Box with me, the Eskimo Writer. My guest tonight is Miloh Ramai. Miloh, welcome back. Your next question, what is the strangest thing that someone has said to you about your music? Good or bad?
Good or bad? Bad. I've gotten a couple of comments where people tell me that anybody can sound great with autotune.
That's nasty. Man.
That's rude. I laugh about it now, but it's like I said, it's still a little bit rude. I will get a thick skin to things like that eventually.
Yeah.
I've also gotten a couple of people that because I refer to a lot of 80s music in my songs. Because when I listen to music now, my go-to playlist is 80s music, like Depeche Mode, Sandra, Aha, those types of bands from the 80s.
Of course it is. Why not?
Brilliant era of music. So I do put a lot of 80s influence into my music. And I've a couple of people have actually told me, why don't you leave the 80s in the 80s where it's supposed to be? And it's so sad because it's, like I said, it's a brilliant era of music. And it's music that I listen to, so obviously I'm going to try and incorporate as much of that into my songs as I can. But yeah, there have been not strange, good opinions on my music. People seem to be open-minded towards it. People seem to like it.
I think all that will come in time, where you get a bit of everything, but as long as you know where your compass is.
Yes, exactly. As long as I stay true to myself.
Yeah, that's
as well.
it. And I think, you can take influences from wherever you want, as long as it's coming from a point of passion and love. You'll have all the right ingredients in your music. Exactly. Taking a step forward in time, let's assume you became massively popular or became a star, and your songs were played all over the world. What initiative would you like to be seen as the champion of?
If I can put it like this, what would I like to be remembered for? I would say that I would like to be remembered for the fact that I was a risk taker. I did not do the conventional thing. I did not make pop music the way other people would make pop music.
Yeah.
I don't dress the way other people expect me to dress. I would also like to be remembered as somebody that did his own thing. Like I said earlier, I always listen to the advice that people give me,
Yeah.
but ultimately I do my own thing. I will listen to everyone, what my mom tells me, what my dad tells me, what my mentor tells me, whoever it may be. But then ultimately I will do what I feel comfortable with, or what I want to put out in the world. And also, I'm also a massive, massive advocate for LGBTQ rights.
So, I mean, that's obviously important because it's obviously part of your identity too, right? And I
Yes.
think there are many people out there who can identify with you as you are somebody who's going to be on a platform that's going to be heard. You're going to be writing about it in songs. You have an opportunity to champion the cause for many people who may not have that voice, but
Exactly.
who need that voice, right?
I think ultimately, I don't want to be some sort of poster boy for the gays. I think
Sure.
I think they don't need a poster boy to speak on their behalf. So I think I've got some sort of social responsibility from my side to be respectful, to be respectful of other people's lifestyles and things like that, and to be honest about my lifestyle, and to not to rub it in people's faces, but to just be, like I said, to be true to myself and follow my own compass.
Yeah.
And I think in doing so, I hope to inspire other people to do the same, to not hide away, and be somebody that they're not supposed to be because of standards that society has set out for them, or rules that society.
Well, actually, I think it's an important thing to be you championing in some ways, not necessarily any specific issue, but about tolerance and understanding
In general, yes.
on a general scale.
The one thing that I'm also a firm believer of is the world is for everyone. People are becoming more open-minded to the fact that they're sharing the planet with people that are not like them. They don't
Yeah.
live like them. They don't look 100% like them.
Sometimes when you read Twitter, you may think not, but
But yeah, like I said, people are becoming a little bit more open-minded to sharing their space with other people.
okay, now your next song and your last song for tonight is a track called Sober. What is the story behind this song? I'm sure there's a deep metaphor lying in there somewhere, Miloh.
Okay, sober is about addiction.
Mhm.
It's and not specifically referring to the typical alcohol or drugs, but anything that can be detrimental to your health, or ultimately kill you if you allow it to. It's something that gives you a temporary high, but you wake up the next morning and you're like, why is this happening? Why am I doing this to myself?
That sounds like something. No, in fact, no. It doesn't sound like anything I know, obviously.
I tried. I don't really know songs that have that type of message. But yeah, no, it's about breaking that addiction, and then finding yourself when you're now technically sober up, finding yourself, and then you have to stand on your own 2 feet for the first time.
It's your awakening.
With your exactly, you have to stand on your own 2 feet for the first time in a while, and not have something to help you cope. And you start to ask yourself questions like, where do I go from here?
Yeah.
And the only way you can go is forward.
Well, excellent. Well, I hope that helps any of our listeners out there with their existential questions, because it's a song that has an existential leaning towards trying to move forward in your life and breaking away from the bad and trying to embrace the good. That's what I think. Next up, Miloh Ramai with Sober, right here on Hot.
With a ring at the bottom of a bottle, kill your seductive disease. Your dirty lies were the reasons I kept running, never praying, but I'm down on my knees. Here we go, down this road, I don't know, the party's over, I'll be sober. You're the lie, never staying by my side, and the party's over, I'll be sober. You're the fire, baby, burning down the high in me. In me, in me. Did you recognize my face? And I remember I thought I could be someone. Everyone will know my name. Here we go down this road. I don't know. The party's over. I'll be sober. You're the lie, never staying by my side. The party's over. I'll be sober. You're the fire, baby, burning down the high in me. In me, in me, in me. In me, in me, the party's over. I'll be sober. You're the lie, never staying by my side. The party's over. I'll be sober. You're the fire, baby, burning down the high in me. In me, in me, in me. In me, in me, in me.
And that was Miloh Ramai with Dieval Pretorius joining us with 3 wonderful songs. We had Run, Forever and a Day, and finally Sober. Miloh, thank you for being our guest tonight on the Music Box.
Thank you so much for having me.
Now, very importantly, where can people find you?
Oh, everywhere. I'm on Facebook, I'm on Twitter.
What is your Facebook handle?
At Miloh Ramai on Facebook.
Right.
Yeah, and then Instagram at Miloh Ramai, Twitter at Miloh Ramai. You can find me on YouTube. You can find me on Spotify. You can find me on Apple Music. On
So
Deezer.
people wanted to stream and download your music. It's on all download platforms.
Every single platform you can find.
Okay, you heard it, folks, and that concludes actually Band Strip for tonight. You can find Miloh Ramai's music across all download platforms, and please go out and support him on social media. South African musicians need your support, and with your support, they can become more than you believe they can be. And that's a
Yay.
true story.
Hot 91.9.
Playing the best old school and R&B.